So a couple weeks ago, a report came out showing that Alina Habba had been paid a little over $2 million by Donald Trump to continuously lose every single trial she has ever handled for him. Well, it turns out that that number was a bit of a low ball because it only counted the actual legal fees that Alina Habba's law firm had been paid. But it turns out, according to a new analysis, Alina Habba has been paid more than $6 million to lose every single case that she has tried for Donald Trump. So even though she's incompetent in the courtroom, as the country has clearly seen time and time again, Alina Habba seems to have a real knack, a real talent, if you will, for making herself rich from doing absolutely the worst job we have ever seen. And part of the reason she's getting so much money is not just because she's been Donald Trump's lawyer, but let's not forget she's also the general counsel for Donald Trump's Save America Super PAC, and she's also, for some reason, a senior advisor to his Make America Great Incorporated Super PAC, the one that is supporting his presidential bid. Alina Habba has been out there in the media talking political talking points that Trump wants her to throw out. She's sending fundraising emails, and according to these new reports, she's using the money coming in from donors and basically funneling part of it back to herself. So even though she doesn't know the first thing about politics, right? She is a lawyer who, up until she started working for Donald Trump, as best we can tell, was not into politics. Right? She had her own political leanings, as every person does, but she wasn't politically involved. Okay, she didn't have a podcast. She wasn't a writer. She wasn't out there attending all these different fundraisers and political events. She wasn't plugged into the political world, at least not in a big enough way that would warrant her becoming a senior advisor to the former president of the United States presidential super PAC. You see what I mean? Like, she was not a politics person. She's not an advisor. She's never been like a lobbyist. She's never worked on a campaign. She doesn't know the first thing about politics. Remarkably, she actually knows less about politics than she knows about the law. And yet somehow she weaseled her way in there to become a senior advisor for one super PAC, the general counsel for another super PAC, even though she's lost every case she's tried for Trump. She has cost him hundreds of millions of dollars, because we're going to get that judgment from Engoron soon, and we can go ahead and believe it will be in the hundreds of millions, not to mention the $88 million that she cost him for the E. Jean Carroll trial. She's lost him hundreds of millions of dollars, but she herself has likely become a millionaire through this work. If you, I hope that the folks at, Webster's Dictionary are revamping the definition of the phrase failing upwards. And you don't even have to put words in it. You can just have the definition of failing upwards be a picture of Alina Habba. Because she's in over her head on the legal cases, right? She went from being a parking garage lawyer to the lawyer for the former president of the United States that's lost every case she's tried. She's now somehow a senior advisor to a presidential super PAC, despite having no experience at all in politics. She has made $6 million for doing the worst job anybody ever could have imagined for Donald Trump. But he keeps her around. He parades her around the country with him because obviously his wife doesn't want to spend any time with him. And I think that is the only reason Alina Habba is getting this job and this money. Trump likes to look at her, and he's willing to pay millions of dollars to keep her around so that he can keep doing that for some reason.